I was terrible in maths. At one time, I think I scored 16 on 100. I was so terrible in maths. I finally ended up dropping the subject. One thing I was rather good at was drawing Venn diagrams because for some strange reason, I thought this was fun to do. So I'm showing you how good I am at drawing Venn diagrams. Okay. Here are three circles. In the green circle, this is what customers are looking for. This is what customers want. In the yellow circle, this is what your brand does best. In the blue circle, this is what competition does best. Just try and understand these circles first. Understand what these sentences mean. If you have a brand that you're pitching and you're positioning in that space, if you're pitching your brand, your marketing strategy, your tagline, if you're pitching it here, you're because you're not even talking about what you do best. Yes, you're addressing what customer needs. Yes, you're also sort of overlapping with what your competition does best, which is disastrous for you. But you're not talking about what you do best. So this is a really bad place to occupy. If you pitch it here, what your brand does best, sure, you've spoken about that. But you've also overlapped with what your competition is doing best, which is still fine. The consumer is not even looking for this. So this is like a really dumb play. This place is an interesting space because this space is where most brands operate currently, especially in the startup ecosystem. Yes, they've answered for what the consumer is looking for, what the brand does best, and also what competition is doing best. Now, this is a high risk game because this is a money dependent game. I'll give you an example. I have a pet food brand. I have really great food, no chemicals, no preservatives, nothing for pets. I have marketing spends of 1 lakh a month. For 1 lakh a month, I can reach maybe 40,000 customers. Let's say you come up with a brand which is exactly like my brand, but you have marketing money of 5 lakhs a month. You're automatically going to reach more people, which means that this is a very, very high risk area to play with. Sometimes you're going to come up with a brand, you're going to work on a brand where you can pitch it here, where it's completely outside what the competition is doing. And it's in that beautiful spot where the customer is looking for this and you're answering, you're solving for that problem. This is the perfect place to pitch your brand, to position your brand. And this space is where a tagline comes out, should ideally come up from. Let's take an example. Heads up for tails. So this is a pet food and pet care brand, which is based on India. It's a fairly large brand. Okay, so their competition are brands like Paws and Collars, Super Tails, Paws India, Not So Much, Spur Price. These are their competition, right? The existing brand tagline for Heads Up for Tails is foods, treats, and more, which I think is a shitty tagline. But what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it is that it's generic as fuck. Any brand can claim this. If I have more money than Heads Up for Tails, I can claim the same shit. Now let's go back to that circle, that Venn diagram, and let's see how this pitching process works. How do you start positioning a brand in this? Let's map it out, right? So what customers want? Customers are looking for one place they can go to for all things concerning the pet instead of going to multiple places. Fair enough. What is the competition doing? Exactly that. What is Heads Up for Tails doing? Exactly that. A to Z of pet needs. Let's plot out all of that in the circle. Currently, it's in the yellow circle. A to Z of pet needs. Competition is A to Z of pet needs. One place to get all your pet needs. If, for example, I pitch it, I position Heads Up for Tails as a cheapest all-in-one store for your pet, I'm f***ed. Why am I f***ed? Because my brand is not a cheap brand. It's a fairly expensive brand. So yes, customers will be looking for that. Yes, it possibly is what competition is also doing, but that's a crappy place to pitch it. Okay. If I position it as finally a shop for birds, and I can because Heads Up for Tails does have products for birds as well. So technically, I can position the brand there. But out of 100 customers, maybe one customer would be looking for that. So it's a no-brainer, right? I won't even go in that direction. If I pitch it at all your pets' needs in one place, which is currently what Heads Up for Tails is doing, that's a high-risk game, as I said. But if I take that, see, I can't change the brand, right? But I can lift it. If I take the current positioning and I lift it with a little bit of emotion and benefit, if I position the brand as making pet parenting easy, then suddenly I'm at that space where no other brand is talking about that. Do you understand what the thought process in this is? When you have nothing special to say, the way you say it makes all the difference.